Let's get you deeper into that first defining image that we showed you, because that's the big developing story right now. A Russian jet reportedly shot down by Ukrainian air defense near the city of Chernihiv. Ukraine has claimed to have captured the pilot, who's been identified as Krasnoyartsev. These are all claims, remember, that are being made so far by the Ukrainian government. Another video of a body. Let's get those images on our screen so our viewers know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to show exactly what I'm talking about on our screens. Another video of a body, allegedly of the co-pilot, Major Krivolapov, has also been shared by Ukrainian authorities, reportedly killed during the crash. Let's show you three images now. The co-pilot, who has reportedly been killed, the pilot who has apparently survived and been taken captive, and the act of shooting down that Russian aircraft itself. Quickly, let's put those visuals on our screen. Three images for our viewers.
Майор Криволапов, летчик, который бьет город Чернигов. Вот. Путин, где твой, сука, русский мир? Сюда его давай, нахуй. Чернигов, блядь, Майор Криволапов.
Images from the incident in the city of Chernihiv capturing what the Ukrainians are claiming. It's a big claim. They claim they've shot down a Russian aircraft. The first image on your screen, what they claim is the dead co-pilot of the aircraft. The middle image, a survivor, the co-pilot of the aircraft who has apparently survived the crash. And on the right-hand side, that third image of the aircraft that was actually shot down. Big claim being made by Ukraine, the first possible visual evidence of a claim that they've been making from day one of having shot down several different Russian aircraft. No corroboration from the ground just yet, but another, the latest in the claims. Remember, Ukraine has claimed to have shot down more than 20 Russian aircraft, more than 27 Russian helicopters, but this is the first time they've provided some kind of visual suggestion that what they're saying is in fact correct. We will be getting more information in just a moment from now. Serhiy Mirankov is our reporter on the ground, reporting live from Kyiv this evening. Serhiy, good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Big developments coming in from the city of Chernihiv, Serhiy, of a Russian aircraft apparently being shot down. One of the pilots did not survive, and another pilot has been taken into custody. Anything you can tell us about that, Serhiy?
I can just add that this aircraft previously bombed the Chernihiv city for many days, and I'm glad, as many Ukrainians and many people all over the world, that this is in finish, and this victim is good for the whole victory. Right now in Kyiv is stable. There are no fire. We don't hear anything right now. Life in Kyiv becomes better and better. Opening stores, drug stores, opening car repairment. Everybody is working. Everybody is collecting things that would be useful for the defense, for our army. Everybody's working, lots of traffic, but everything is okay because security services are provided best they can do. In Ukraine, in most of the cities where there were sown Russian army, people without guns, like citizens without guns, without anything, just coming on them. They are shooting into the air, but people are not afraid about this, and they are sending them back to the border, taking their guns, taking their tanks. People without any guns doing this, Ukrainians, right now. In whole Ukraine, in Mariupol, unfortunately, were canceled the Green Corridor for the citizens because of Russia. They don't grant the safeness, and they're still bombing the territory. Bad news from Kharkiv. They have just bombed on the university, sent the bombs there. So this was going on for right now.
Serhiy, you know, the other images that have been coming in, I'm sure you've seen them also, are of these Russian Sukhoi 25 jets bombing in the city of Irpin, which is, not very far from Kyiv city. What can you tell us about that? This appears to be bombing in the middle of the city.
Yes, they bombing in the middle of the city, but For right now, Irpin, Bucha, and all the territory is under the Ukrainian protection, and the Ukrainian flag is still on there.
What about
And
Kyiv?
also,
Yes. Go ahead, Seri.
and also from Irpin, because of the broken bridges, continues the evacuation for the citizens. Together with security services, everybody is working. Buses are driving. Everything is fine as it could be for right now.
Okay, what about Kyiv itself? The Russian government has released pictures, of that military convoy which had been stuck. Remember, you were telling us about how it had been stuck and actually was slowed down and has gone back towards the Russian border. The Russian government has put out pictures, Seri, suggesting that this convoy is actually now moving closer towards Kyiv. Are you hearing anything about that?
Nothing hearing about that. It's a Russian propaganda. They're trying to make panic. No any panic in Kyiv. No any panic in the Kyiv region. You saw the images about the aircraft that were damaged for 1 hour or less ago.
Yeah.
So no any troops of Russian army around Kyiv. No. They will not get you.
But the way it's looking, Seri, it seems that the airstrikes are coming closer to Kyiv itself. Whether it is in Bucha, whether it is in Irpin, it looks like it's coming closer to Kyiv. So it appears that the battle for Kyiv may be the next thing that we see happen.
Unfortunately, aircraft still working in the air, and we are in Ukraine. Most, like 100% of Ukrainians are very sad because of NATO. The refuse to close the sky, and so all the other victims, unfortunately, on their own. We'll see it in next few days. Ukrainian army motivated. We have weapons, we have guns. I'm not sure. But I hope in few days everything will stop and Russian army will go back home, or by themselves, or we will move them by ourselves. No problem.
Do you think that NATO or the West will still enter this war? If something happens in Kyiv, if something big happens in Kyiv, I certainly hope it doesn't. I don't want anything to happen. But I'm saying, if the escalation happens in Kyiv, Seri, do you think that might change NATO's mind and they might actually enter this entire conflict? Or do you think that they're not going to do this?
I hope that they will change their mind and decision before something will happen in Kyiv or in other peaceful place in Ukraine. I hope so. But we living in a new reality. It's a third world war. And if NATO or other countries from Asia Pacific will not stop the Putin, in next few years, everybody will under the threat of Russian army, Russian aggression, and Russian nuclear weapon.
Seri, thank you very much for joining me. It's a sensitive time, but you're being very brave. You say that things are actually calmer in Kyiv right now, even though the surround sound outside the city appears to suggest that things may actually be escalating. What could be afoot? We'll have to see over the next 24 hours and days. But thank you very much, Seri. Stay safe. We'll keep connecting back with you from the streets of Kyiv. Putin has intensified things. Make no mistake about that. On day 10 of his special military operation in Ukraine. Dramatic images of Russian Air Force Sukhoi Su-25 jets bombing capital Kyiv's suburbs and cities close to it like Irpin have been caught on camera. Take a look at this comprehensive report about what happened and how it was captured. "25 kilometers from Ukraine's capital, in the middle of the city of Irpin, a pair of Russian jets dropped their bombs. Terrifying footage filmed from a citizen's mobile phone captures the thundering explosion as the munitions strike the ground. Listen in once again to this hair-raising sequence. Another video of the same attack or similar strike in Irpin has been captured on mobile camera from someone in their home. The unsettling clip captures the bombs hitting the ground and the two jets then streaking away. The fighters doing the dropping are believed to be Russian Air Force Sukhoi Su-25 strike aircraft designed to provide close air support to Russian ground forces. In the absence of Russia's more formidable air superiority fighters, Su-25 jets appear to have been deployed for maximum airstrike duties in the current conflict. Ukraine has so far claimed to have shot down at least 4 of these jets, though these remain in the realm of claims for now. The video footage of the airstrikes near Kyiv suggests that Russia has begun to bomb areas very close to the Ukraine capital, closing in on Kyiv that could soon be encircled also from the ground. The combination of brute strength on the roads and strike weaponry from the air is being seen as a visible escalation in the battle to make Kyiv bend.
I was in Irpin yesterday and I was not allowed to film there because Russians are too close. They're just a kilometer away. We could see a Russian tank there and they told the local residents or the reporters who are still stuck there, they said generally the firing takes place in the night. There's huge damage in Irpin, including in the civilian area.
The images also indicate that jet fighters are striking deeper inside Ukraine than earlier believed. Russian claims of having paralyzed Ukrainian air defense could find strength on the back of today's images from Irpin. But Ukraine will look to push back by saying it has shot down scores of Russian aircraft already. The true battle for Kyiv could be dead ahead. With Gaurav Sawant and Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv and Geeta Mohan in Lviv, Bureau Report, India Today. Let me show you what these aircraft are that are conducting the bombing. You can see them in very grainy images in those airstrikes. But let me show you what these aircraft are that are doing the bombing and that the Ukrainians claim that they've actually shot down. These are strikes very close to Kyiv. The jet dropping the bombs is called a Sukhoi 25. It's a Sukhoi Su-25. It's a ground strike aircraft. It is designed for close air support to ground forces, and there are huge ground forces of the Russian army that's, outside on the outskirts of Kyiv right now. These aircraft are designed and capable of low altitude bombings. That's why you saw them captured so clearly on mobile camera. Their weapons include strike missiles, bombs, rockets. They've so far been used in many, many different operations around the world, including and most notably in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq and Sudan, but of course in many other operations, including in North Africa as well. Now, India Today gets you images also, not just of what's happening in the air, but also that giant Russian military convoy that is said to be approaching Kyiv from all directions. It had stopped for a while because of some logistics glitches and also because of the Ukrainian fight back in defense, but it appears to be, at least according to the Russians, on the move again. The first images of Putin's huge military tank convoy. You've seen the satellite images. Now here are close-up images of the tanks rumbling towards the capital city, Kyiv. Will it actually reach there? We don't know yet. It's still several kilometers away. But these tanks are advancing in an attempt to encircle Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. The convoy itself is over 60 kilometers long. It consists of tanks, it consists of armored personal carriers, it consists of trucks. Many thousands of soldiers are believed to be part of this convoy. Tanks and trucks as far as the eye can see. This mesmerizing bird's eye view of Russia's giant armored convoy rumbling towards Ukraine's capital has become one of the faces of this escalating conflict. But after 10 days of satellite pictures, finally a view from the ground. Images published by the Russian military show the giant convoy up close for the first time. Carefully curated images, part of a power projection exercise. Amidst denials in Kyiv, that this convoy has managed to encircle the crucial city.
Somebody said that it is just to distract attention of the Ukrainian armed forces to concentrate on that direction and to open another road. The second version is that Russians are trying to regroup because now they have quite a dispersed forces around Kyiv, and they are trying to regroup to accumulate the forces that they need for the big strike.
In his delusional mind, he does believe so. That wouldn't be true because even if he pretends to, take over Kyiv and claim that this is the new ruler, whatever he would that would be, that would not change the will of 40 million Ukrainians who are fighting against that right now. But he indeed is trying to encircle the city. Ukrainian army is fighting back. That convoy you are referring to has not been moving for the past 5 days, I think. So they are not having any way to move forward because of the Ukrainian army.
The superior strength of the Russian forces, looking to besiege Ukraine's capital, has snaked down the highway from the north for several days now. Across bitter, snow-blown wilderness, menacing war machines bearing down on a metropolis that must bend if President Putin is to impose his will on Ukraine.
These are the up-close images of the convoy, that Russian convoy that's moving towards the capital Kyiv. In some places, it's extremely close to Kyiv. One information that we have received is indicating that a part of that convoy is virtually now on the outskirts of Kyiv. The logistics challenge that was being pointed out initially, that seems to have been overcome.
The convoy is populated with battle tanks, armored personnel carriers, and utility trucks carrying troops, rations, and weapons, perhaps for the long haul. While Kyiv city itself hasn't been damaged much in 10 days, the suburbs and outskirts have been pounded by missiles, shells and rockets for days together. The Hostomel air base to Kyiv's north has also evidently been overrun by Russian forces. With the giant convoy now looking to encircle and besiege Kyiv from 3 sides, 2 questions hover above all else. Will Ukraine's capital fall soon? And if it does, will Russia have crossed a red line that brings NATO and the West finally into this war? With Gaurav Sawant in Kyiv and Geeta Mohan in Lviv, Bureau Report, India Today. And India Today's man on the ground in Kyiv, Rajesh Pawar, sent us this report from the streets of Kyiv, a checkpost manned by Ukrainian civilians. We're seeing much more of this in Ukraine's capital right now and in the last few hours. Take a look at this report.
Right now, I'm here on the outskirts of Kyiv, and this is a checkpost manned by the civilians. Look at the civilians holding weapons. They're checking every car. They're checking it for documents. They're checking it for any kind of material they're carrying. Can you show them? And here I was recording. These people came because they think maybe I'm a Russian agent. Maybe I'm someone who's passing information. So right now, there's an air of suspicion around.
Who are you?
I'm an Indian journalist, and I take permission. I take permission. I take his permission from him. I take permission from the commander. So right now, they want to know everyone who's he, who's talking, who's opening a camera here, who's recording anything. And if you can see here, look, there are civilians who are right now. Show there, please. Civilians manning this checkpost, checking every car coming in, and everything is being checked by them. This is Rajesh Pawar reporting for India Today.
Let's go straight to Gaurav Sawant, who's on the streets of Kyiv right now. Gaurav, you're in the city, tension palpable. Take us through what you're hearing, what you're seeing.
Shiv, let me show this place to you. The heart of Kyiv, the heart of the capital of Ukraine. No one, virtually no one on the streets. Everyone bracing for that imminent attack. Shiv, even as we speak, I have Vasil with me. Vasil, can I request you to join us? Vasil is from Kharkiv. He's an IT professional, and Vasil was, he saw us reporting and he's come and joined us because he's very upset about what's happening in Kharkiv. He's getting minute by minute updates, and Kharkiv has a lot of foreign students, including Indian students. What are you hearing about the latest?
Yes, Kharkiv was the most student city in Ukraine. We had over 50 50 higher educational establishments. As of now, I don't know how many of them are survived, you know, and lots of students, they just left Kharkiv. And I know that international students are dying. I know that Indian guy died and Chinese died. Two Chinese guys died yesterday. And lots of civilians are dying because Russians are bombing our civilians' territories. And
Tell me about the situation right now here in Kyiv. We see very little movement on the streets. What are you hearing? How imminent is this attack on Kyiv? What can you tell us about the ground situation?
I think they say they don't want to destroy anything and they want to keep like Kyiv safe, you know, to invade Kyiv and to take it over and to put their pro-Russian leader who would, you know, support Russia and everything. But we will not give up Kyiv, you know, we will stand until the last drop of blood.
The situation right now on the outskirts, we heard some explosions. Earlier there were some air raid sirens. What do you know about what's happening on the outskirts of Kyiv?
Yes, they're bombing outskirts because we had some military forces there and like I forgot, anti-AVS or something, because that's why they're bombing outskirts.
We heard about Ostomil where Miria was lost, Antonov 225, that's a big airbase. We heard of something that's happening in Bucha. What do you know of that?
The Bucha, all outskirts towards the north, because they were bombing and coming from the north, and they bombed all those small cities there.
Is an attack on Kyiv imminent? What are you being told by your administration? What are you being told by your government?
I don't think the last attack was a few days ago into a railway station. It was the last attack into close to the center of Kyiv. And
come join us, sir. Come, do join us. Okay, let me just walk across. One more gentleman, he's telling us. No. I just wanted to know, what were you saying about the missile attack? Just wanted to know about that.
Yesterday we had missile attack from Russian who you understand who is? Tell me please.
So you're saying that there was a missile attack from the Russian side?
Tell me please, who is Russian Huilo?
I don't speak Russian, sir, sorry.
English, it's English word. Russian Huilo is русский военный корабль.
So, okay, I'll get hold of a translator. I will get hold of a translator.
Russian military board.
Russian military bombed your place, you're saying?
Boom, what? Корабль, understand? Ship. Go to.
Russian military bombed this place, you're saying?
Russian military ship must go to hell.
Bravo. So this is the situation. This is the situation on ground here. There is anger against Russia. Locals are saying that the Russians are using their missiles to target civilian areas here in Kyiv. There's anger at what's happening in Kharkiv, and people themselves are now coming forward. How many people have left Kyiv? What more can you tell us about the number of people who are still here?
I don't know how many people left Kyiv, but I know that almost 1.5 million Ukrainians left Ukraine already, moved to the west, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and Romania, and even Moldova. Nobody goes to Russia or Belarus.
Yep. Shiv, that's the situation at this point of time as Kyiv prepares for that it braces for that imminent attack. You heard the gentleman there talking about missile attacks. You've heard Vasil talk about an attack that had taken place at the railway station and massive destruction in the satellite cities, whether it's Bucha or Ostomil, wherever else. He says that there are military installations. They are being bombed as the Russian forces seem to be coming in, Shiv.
Gaurav, thanks very much for that. We're going to keep coming back to you. Several different things happening around Kyiv. Gaurav's giving us that 360-degree picture of the mood on the ground. There is palpable tension. I know I'm not mistaking it, Gaurav. You and I have been in situations like that. You can feel the tension, the vibe change, before something big might actually happen. I hope that doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't come to pass. But with the convoy nearing Kyiv, with the airstrikes happening just 25 kilometers from where you're actually standing, Gaurav, it appears that there could be some kind of big offensive coming up very soon. Let's hope by some miracle, peace can be arrived at between both sides, but that doesn't appear to be the case right now. A report has suggested, meanwhile, that Russian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is in Kyiv, where Gaurav is reporting from, there are reports suggesting that Zelensky has survived 3 assassination attempts since the invasion began 10 days ago. Meanwhile, Russia claims that Zelensky has actually fled to Poland. He's not even there. A claim that Ukrainian government obviously has totally denied. Here's a report on this. The Times of London and other reports say 3 assassination attempts on Ukraine's president so far.
The man leading a war against Russia. The president who is taking the invaders head on. A leader who has refused to flee the nation at a time of unprecedented devastation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has emerged a global hero and an inspiration for his nation and people. Zelensky has maintained that he and his family are in the capital city of Kyiv and will not flee their motherland. Reports suggest that since the Russian invasion, Zelensky has survived 3 assassination attempts. The leader survived all 3 of them, allegedly plotted by the Wagner group of mercenaries and Chechen rebels. The Ukrainian government says the Chechen assassins were killed by their forces. With Kyiv under attack, Zelensky's official residence is on the radar. On Friday, a fragment of a rocket fell near the presidential residence, an attack that can't be brushed away as mere coincidence. Meanwhile, the Russian government claims the Ukrainian president has fled the country and crossed over to Poland. Earlier, when the United States offered to get him out, Zelensky said he needs ammunition and not a ride. Russia hopes to oust Volodymyr Zelensky and replace him with his predecessor, Viktor Yanukovych, who was forced to step down in 2014 over corruption charges. Yanukovych is a Kremlin-friendly leader and has staunchly opposed Ukraine joining the EU. The invasion has entered day 10, with the death toll piling and missiles raining on Ukraine. 2 rounds of talks between the 2 sides have already failed. A furious Putin continues to unleash bigger attacks with each passing day. Bureau Report, India Today.
And over 10 days, the war of words between the 2 neighboring state heads continues to escalate over the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian President Putin has justified the unending aggression and has asked Ukraine not to escalate tensions or introduce any restrictions. Vladimir Putin says that actions taken by Russian troops are always in response to some unfriendly actions. He's also warned that Russia's neighbors should not escalate tensions. This comes after Ukrainian President Zelensky demanded tougher sanctions on Russia over the attack on Europe's largest nuclear facility situated in southeastern Ukraine. Zelensky alleges that the attack could have been 6 times worse than the Chernobyl 1986 disaster. Meanwhile, Russia has vehemently denied shelling at that nuclear facility, calling the reports untrue.
And I would also advise them not to escalate the situation, not to introduce any restrictions. We fulfill all our obligations and will continue to fulfill them. We don't see any necessity to escalate the situation and worsen our relations. All our actions, if they're taken, are taken exclusively as a response to unfriendly actions towards the Russian Federation. I think everyone should consider normalizing relations and cooperate normally.